do a lot of writing and stuff, and I think it is true. When you have the creative intelligence, really these ideas just come out of the ether, and it's like almost impossible to describe where exactly they came from. They just appear in your mind, and really the key thing there is once is of course being receptive to it, and that's part of training your brain to be able to like notice it when you get the idea. And then the other part, which is mentioned in or alluded to in prior chapters, is the key things to sit down and actually action that ideas. I mean, ideas will come and pass you by. I can tell you certainly as a writer, nothing great's going to get written if you don't actually write the idea that you get. The idea is certainly the first stage. They're certainly going to come and they're going to go, and there's no explanation of how or why they came to you, but it's just completely original. You have all of these inventions just devising completely new things, or things that a market potentially hasn't had before. Like if we think of the iPhone, for instance, and Steve Jobs, that's something where they said it's not something the buyer knew they wanted at the time, but they didn't know they wanted it because they didn't know that it could exist. And sometimes when you have an original idea, you can kind of produce for people something they didn't know they wanted if it's a really cool idea. Naturally, of course, you're going to need to be able to action these things, and that's where it sort of ties into the knowledge chapter. With Carnegie, the man knew nothing about steel making himself, but he could pull together people who did. So he could have an idea, or like Henry Ford could have an idea. I want a V8, I want 8 cylinders, and I want them all on one engine block. And there's his idea. Then he goes tells people to do it because he doesn't know how to design it. I guess that's sort of our role as entrepreneurs. We get this idea. We don't know where the idea comes from. We try and be receptive to the ideas when we come, and then we go, well, can it be done? Well, obviously it can, because impossible is not really a word in the dictionary at this point.